Hello, hello! Happy holidays, everyone! We are joining you from another location in the Sonia Christmas compound here. We thought it would be fun since you guys seem to enjoy the first workout that accidentally ended up inside in front of the Christmas decorations. To kind of show you around the house with all the things that we do for Christmas. So here's another location that we have. We do kind of, we don't have all of this in front of the TV all the time, but just trying to work in as many things as we have to show off our holiday spirit here at the Sonia house. So I hope you guys enjoy our next, I think we have maybe 2 workouts, is it, before Christmas? So we'll try to show you around a little more and show you some of our other bigger trees that we have in the house. So thanks so much for joining me, guys. Today we are going to do a 1 heavy weight circuit. So we will be using just 1 heavy hand weight. That is all you need. And again, heavy is heavy for you, right? So I've decided to grab a 20 and a 15 as a backup, just in case something's bothering me, not quite feeling on point today. So I've grabbed an extra, just a little bit lighter version of a heavy weight for me. So I'm not gonna tell you what weight to grab, just grab what is heavy for you, right? So that's what we're gonna need, and then yoga mat, floor support. I did not bring my mat today because it is causing me more distraction than it has been helpful. So I did not bring it out today, but I should just be fine working on the carpet, especially since we're not doing anything that's gonna be jumping and stuff like that. So 1 weight workout. We're gonna do combination exercises with 1 weight, right? So just another twist on things. Combination exercises, you feel like, oh, I need more than 1 weight if I'm going to be doing combos, but no, we're going to use 1 weight, combination exercises, hitting upper body, lower body, some at the same time, just really hitting as much as we can with only 8 exercises and 1 weight. Pretty cool, I think. So let's see, we're going to be working circuit. So circuit is similar to Tabata. If you haven't done one of my circuit classes before, it's just longer work. So instead of Tabata can be anywhere from like 20 to 45 seconds usually. Circuit, we're gonna work for a minute. So that's a little bit longer. We're gonna do a minute of exercise, 20-second break, and we've got 8 exercises. So we'll work through that, and then there'll be a 1.5-minute break, and we'll go through that whole thing again. So we're gonna go through that circuit 4 times. So that's kind of what we're working with. 1 minute of work, 20 seconds off, 1.5 minutes total break at the end. Do it all over again. So it's about 45, 46 minutes of work total. So awesome, awesome, awesome. Hitting full body, everything all at once in a quick workout. It's kind of the best of every world. We get a little bit of cardio, a little bit of strength training, and get it done quickly. Let's see, and always just modify as needed. Always modify, listen to your body, and remember you have a different body every day. So just because something felt great and you could do it yesterday, doesn't necessarily mean that you could or should do it today. So just remember you wake up with a new body every day, modify as needed for that day. Facebook, I'll be checking for questions before we get started and then between each circuit. So if you have any questions about how to modify or what the heck it is that we're doing, just let me know. I'll be happy to help you. And lastly, just the 2 things I always mention. Please share these workouts, share what we're doing here, share the message, and share to encourage others. You know, we don't want to push people in the negative way, but being a great example is a fantastic way to encourage others to get moving and to do what we are doing here. And lastly, if you would wish to donate any funds for these classes, it is the only payment I do receive for these classes. I'm not sponsored or backed by any of the facilities I work at to do these classes. So it is greatly appreciated if you can give. Anything helps. Venmo at Strong Style Fit is where you'll find me. All right, guys. So I'm going to grab a quick sip of water, check the video, and then get our timer started, and we will get going. All right, guys, get ready. Grab your heavy weight. All right, friends, so before I get the timer started, I'm going to show you what the first exercise is. That way you are ready to rock, because as soon as I hit start on that timer, it's go time. So we're going to do kettlebell swings, but kettlebell using a heavy weight or if you have a kettlebell, you're welcome to use that too. But the goal of this class was to use one heavy weight, so that's what I'm going to show you with. I am going to do it from the side so I don't accidentally punch my TV out or any of the glass shelves behind me. So kettlebell swing, just the quick setup before we get started, and then I'll coach the rest as we go. We want our shoulders back and down. We're holding the weight like so if we're using one heavy weight. And remember, it's not a squat, it is a hip and glute exercise. So we want to start at the bottom, hike our hips back. We pull the weight through to get started, pull, and then we stand. Hips back, explode, explode. So you see I'm not squatting, I'm driving hips back, pushing forward. Driving hips back, pushing forward. So that's what we're looking for with a kettlebell swing. Most of the time, the problem is we squat and stand, squat and stand. We're not getting much out of the exercise, and we're putting our back in a really crummy place. So hips, 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 hips. All right? All right, so I'm gonna go slightly off camera, hit start. I'll count it down. I'll hop back into camera as soon as I can and join you. All right, guys, we're going in 3, 2, 1. Let's start. 1 minute of work. Kettlebell swing. Hike it back. Let's go. Also, you're not looking to swing high here. If you're swinging that weight way up over your head, that means your weight's too light. Keeping that chest open. Try not to let your shoulders roll forward too far. Core tight. "15 seconds. Make sure you're breathing. There's a lot of cardio happening here. Woo! All right. So we have got a squat with an overhead press coming up next. So we're going to hold the weight to our chest here, set up our squat. We're going to squat back, push the weight overhead. All right. Whew. Cardio city there. All right, set your squat up, weight to your chest. We squat back, push overhead. Be mindful with your push overhead that you're not bringing your shoulders up to your ears, that your shoulders stay down and away. There should be a nice gap between shoulders, arms, the side of your head and your ears. So I started the circuit with kettlebell swings, so our heart rate would get nice and high and stay elevated through the entire circuit. With all of this, combination exercises are going to be cardio, have a part of cardio to them because you're moving arms and legs together. So we start with those kettlebell swings to get it up, and then we keep it elevated through the full circuit. All right, we've got sumo squat with a bicep curl. So we start wide into our sumo, knees track out over our toes, not over our toes, same direction as our toes. We come down, we curl up. So just like a regular bicep curl, keep those elbows tucked into your sides. These sumo squats, especially if you've not been up and moving around too much this morning, hips are probably tight. They'll get easier each round. You'll be able to get a little lower each round. So don't judge too harshly where your sumos are at this moment. Try to keep that tailbone tucked, pointed down towards the floor. So when I say tucked, I don't mean rolled forward, tucked down towards the floor. That feels like tucked though, because most of us stand arched back. So to roll that tailbone down actually feels like you're really crunching forward when you're not. All right, we've got a single leg deadlift with a row. I'll let you do whichever version of single leg deadlift you want. I'm gonna do the stagger stance version. So, plant one leg, knee bends, hips square off, little kickstand with your other foot, set it back, row with your opposite arm. So I've got my left leg as my working leg, my right arm as my working arm. You can also do this version of a deadlift if you prefer. Your choice. I'm going to be here today. Well, hi, Rue. Perfect. Other side. So you'll load up right leg as your working leg, left arm as your working arm. Again, whichever variation of deadlift that you want to do, totally up to you. 5 seconds. All right, if you're here with me, stand tall through that right leg. Make sure that hip is in line. Bend that knee just a little bit. Kickstand that other leg. We sit our hips back. Row. Weight towards the back of that front foot. And when you row, that elbow scrapes right past that rib. Drop it down. Remember, again, like those kettlebell swings, we're sitting our hip back. We're not coming into a squat. Awesome work, guys. All right, we're coming down to the floor for our last 3 exercises. So our next is a chest press with a pullover. So we're going to hold. All right, so we're holding weight long ways. We're going to drop it down, up, leave a little bit of bend in those elbows, drop it back, pull it over. So down, up, back, over, down, up. Keeping that neck relaxed. Core nice and engaged. You definitely have some core work when you drop that weight back overhead and pull over. You should be feeling this in your back and your lat muscles, and also in your core. Perfect. All right. So from here, we're going to do a bridge up with a skull crusher. So we're going to hold the weight overhead. We're going to bridge up, and as we bridge up, we drop the weight down into our skull crusher. All right, so set up your bridge, feet hip width apart, close into your booty. We push up, we drop back. So it's almost like you have a string attached to the handle of your weight and attached to your hips. And as you drop the handle back, it's pulling your hips up. Again, weight in the back of those feet, squeezing through those glutes to lift those hips. triceps. Work, work, work. Be sure to adjust your weight here if necessary. I don't need to go down for skull crushers, but I think that is definitely in the realm of possibilities. My triceps have just been worked for a long time and I can handle 20, but if you can and you need to go lower, then whatever your heavy weight is, that's totally fine. Are you helping? Look at you. What a nice girl. Yes. You're a nice distraction for hard work. All right, guys, so we're doing plank pull-throughs. I'm going to show you in modified for this first round, just so you can see, and I can move slowly for you. So we modify, we drop to our knees if we need to. We're going to start with the weight behind our hand. We pick it up and move it over. Put it down. Pick it up, over. So there's a lot of core involved here because you have to reach over. So now your core is involved here and then pull it across. So it's subtle-ish. It's hard work. The core work, depending on your core strength, may or may be negligible compared to what you're feeling in your shoulders from holding your plank, but I promise you the work is happening. So I'll show you full version the next round. I just wanted to be able to do this slow and controlled so you can really see what we're doing here. Perfect, guys. So that's our break. We got a minute and a half. I've already got a little bit of sweat on. I had a lot more earlier in the round, but like I said, even when we slowed it down, start doing the chest press and stuff on the floor, we were still burning. Like we had already started that burn, sustained that burn. So even when we slowed down by laying down, we're still burning. So pretty great thing about circuit is that kind of constant simmer it keeps you on. That's why we keep our main break shorter as well, because we don't want to turn that heat off. All right, guys, I'm going to take the video real quick and then I'll join you back here. We're starting right back with kettlebell swings in just over 45 seconds. All right, guys, getting toasty warm by the fire here. Wish we had some little s'mores we could be roasting over our fire. So we're gonna start with those kettlebell swings. And again, remember, hips drive back, push forward. It's almost like think about the weight is sitting on your hips instead of dangling down here, and that the weight is pushing you back and then you're pushing the weight forward. Kind of another way to think about it. I try to give you tons of ways because kettlebell swing is very just vexing for a lot of people. So I also encourage to watch yourself in a mirror. And you'll really see, am I squatting or am I pushing my hips back and pushing them forward? Because sometimes we just, until we see it, we don't understand what it means. "20 seconds. There should be no muscling in your arms. Your arms are just along for the ride. Woo! All right, next up, squat with overhead press. Rue, you're a very attentive audience. You're a very attentive audience. Like I need to make you a little blankie bed so you can hang out with us. All right. Squat, overhead press. Set your squat up. Weight comes up. Get your grip. Set it back. Push it up. Sit back. back into that big, deep chair. Modify squat to whatever height you feel is best for your knees. If you have no knee problems, set those hips on back. If you do, just squat as low as you don't feel pain in your knees. Almost there, 5 seconds. All right. Sumo squat with that bicep curl coming up next. So you've got that wide stance, toes at about 10 and 2, knees move that same direction. You also might find sometimes your pants get a little low and you need to pull them up so you got room to squat too. All right, so same grip, nice wide grip. Open that chest, sink down, curl up. So like I said, this trip, now that we've been moving a little more, your hips are a little more open, you might be able to sink a little lower into that sumo squat. Keep that chest nice and tall, tailbone rolled down, pointing towards the floor. Every bone in your ankles crack. Whoop. I looked down at you and lost my balance. Awesome. All right. Next up, we've got that single leg deadlift with the row. Again, your version of single leg deadlift, whatever works better for you. The balance version here, or kickstand version. All right, so if you're with me, got left leg, bend that knee just a little bit, kickstand it back, weight sits back, row up. Whew. My balance today. I think it's funny too, I think working inside presents a different level of distraction. When I'm working out in the garage, I can't see beyond the lights. When I'm looking in the lights, all I see is lights and dark. So there's really nothing to distract my balance. But in here I have all these beautiful things to look at. So it's all catching my eye. All right, other side. Flip it around. And just remember guys, with your row, so my rowing arm is opposite from us. You want that elbow to come right back past those ribs and make sure that you're not shrugging your shoulder up with it. Your shoulder stays down, arm pulls back. All right, got a right leg forward. Line up those hips, set it back. Good job, guys. I sort of keep a hand on my hip to make sure that I'm not letting my hip roll out to the side. I'm very much inclined, coming down to the floor, that when I go to one leg, to let my weight shift out. So if I keep a hand on my hip, it sort of reminds me to keep that hip in line. All right, you roll it back. We've got that narrow press. Hi, sweet girl. Narrow press. pull it over. You guys just make sure that when you go to pull it over, that you're leaving a little bend in those elbows. I'd say about a medium bend to those elbows. Don't want to have this big heavy weight in your hand with locked out arms and dropping it over your head. That is a setup for disaster. Perfect. All right, so next up, we've got the bridge lift with the skull crusher. So remember, the coach on that was that, one, make sure you have a really great grip because you're putting a big heavy weight over your face. And two, we've got a string tied to the handle of our weight and a string tied to our hips. And as we drop back, it pulls our hips up. So we've got our heels in line with our hips. Feet in close to our booty. We squeeze, 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 squeeze that booty to lift the hips. Keep that core engaged. We got our plank pull-throughs next. So I'll show you what that looks like in the full version for this round, so you can see that as well. Just the only thing to be mindful of is just make sure that when you're in your plank, modified or full, that when you're moving that way, that you don't hit your own hand and knock yourself out from underneath yourself, which shouldn't happen, but I just like to bring up all possibilities so you're aware. So set that weight up behind one hand. You want to give yourself a wider base. If you're in the full plank, you're going to reach under, pull it across, set it down. So you want to set it slightly past where you would set up your hands. And you want to try to keep your hips level, so don't let them rock up as you reach over. Hips level, pull through. Staying strong in those hands, pushing that floor away. Sweat dripping. All right, guys, so that's the end of round 2. We're halfway there already. It goes by fast, right? Sweat dripping off my nose. All right, guys, so we've got 1 minute and 10 seconds. Get your water, catch your breath, get yourself reset. We got 2 more trips through. I'm gonna grab some water. I'll be right back with you. The sweat is real. So we are just under 30 seconds. We got 23. So go ahead, do whatever you need to do. Get yourself ready. Kettlebell swings, we're starting with again. So now you know exactly where you're going. Don't waste time. I still coach at the beginning of each exercise, but don't wait until I'm done coaching to start working. Start working. You know where you're at now. So you don't need to wait for me. Now we're just in the helpful tips points when we are not needing to wait for me to get going. So here, now that we've got the idea of our core, of our hips sitting back, our arms not working, just holding on. Lastly, I want you to really think about that core, especially your lower belly, really engaging that, not sucking it in. Just think flat, up, in. Protect that lower back. Some of us with kettlebell swings, seems like no matter how hard we try, something in our lower back doesn't like it. It's when I have to be careful, use sparingly. Not because it's dangerous, I feel like there's something inherent for some of us that just, our lower back's always sensitive, right? And that's when it can agitate it a little bit. So the more we can keep that lower belly nice and engaged, that protects that lower back. All right, squat, the overhead press. Start here, get your feet set, hip width, let's go. So your squats here can really be whatever feels good for you. If you like a narrow squat right under your hips, fine. Me, I'm comfortable a little bit wider than that. Just don't sumo because we're doing that next. Fifteen seconds. Sumo, bicep curl. So, again, you might find yourself even more, a little more space. Again, just as we continue to open up our hips. Toes at 10 and 2, knees track that same direction. Lock those elbows in. We start down, we curl. Always bring up that the knees track in the same direction, because some people still try to roll their knees forward into a normal squat position, or because some people are so tight that their knees won't open that way. If your knees won't open the same direction as your toes, then you need to bring it in and go to more of a goblet squat and really work on that hip opening, hip stretches. 10 seconds. Awesome work. All right, we've got our single leg deadlift with the row. If you want, you did your first 2 rounds the way I'm doing. You can maybe do your next 2 rounds in the extended version, or stay where you are. I'm gonna stay where I am. All right, so if you're with me, left leg bent, right leg kickstands, get that hip in line. Let's go. Like I was saying in the other round, hand on your hip, totally optional. For me, it just helps me make sure I'm not letting my hip roll out to the side. I'm very prone to do that, especially on my right side. They roll so bad, and have all my life. Back in like my cheerleading days, believe it or not, I was a cheerleader for a little while, that I thought my hips were like double jointed, or I thought I could like roll them out of socket on command, because they just really easily roll around. All right, other side. I've got a lot of weird structural things. For those of you that don't know me personally, I have extra bones. I have extra teeth. All sorts of crazy stuff. I think I will be in one of the X-Men. But so far I haven't found any of my mutant capabilities very beneficial. All right, at least we're fighting crime. Oh. And fighting bad guys. Again, weight sits back. When you reach your lowest point, you should not have weight in your toes. I don't know that there's an exercise that you should ever end up on your tippy toes unless it's like a calf raise. All right, coming down to the floor. Hello again, little Rizzo. So just make sure you've got that heavy weight. Take it with you. You can sit on your knees. Kick it up with your knees. All right. So set it up. We've got our shoulders nice and down. We drop straight down, up, leave a little bend. Bring it over. Straight down. Bend, bring it over. Keeping that core nice and engaged. Puppy close to your hip. We tried keeping her out of the room, but apparently that did not last very long. She must not have been having it. So next up, we've got our bridge lift with the skull crusher. So go ahead and get your bridge set up. You want those feet in line with your hips, close to your booty. It's not close that you're uncomfortable, just comfortably in line with your booty. All right, weight extends up. As those hips lift, weight drops back. Really drive through those hips, squeeze those glutes. That's what's lifting, lifting, lifting. Push through your feet, the back of your feet. Squeeze those glutes. Drop that weight. You got a lot going on in this exercise. It's one of those, I'm not going to say it doesn't look like much because clearly you're doing quite a few things, but you don't realize just how many muscles you are working in this one exercise until you do it. Woo, perfect. All right, unload that weight. I'm going to pat my little girl. All right. So, we've got our plank pull-throughs. So now you've seen the full version, you've seen the modified version. Give the full version a shot. You actually might find, as long as you can hold a full plank, you've got a lot more room to work with when you're up in full plank versus modified. But if you need to be modified, be modified. Definitely not telling you not to. Just explore your options, see what works for you. In full plank, just give yourself a little wider base than normal so you're steady. Cross, and you want to pull it through again wider than your hands. That way you can still set your plank up properly, and that's what really engages that core, is having to kind of reach beyond. We have made it through round 3. Just one more round left. I am sweating. I am breathy. My heart is going. Good morning, Saturday. What a way to start your day, right? I am not normally, by habit, a morning workout person, except on Saturdays. And I definitely feel the difference in some ways. Some ways it's very much the same. For me, it's more recovery afterwards. I like to work out at night because then I'm nice and exhausted for bedtime. But morning definitely brings a different energy. So I respect whatever your choice is. I do a little bit of both myself. So we've got about 40 seconds. I'm gonna get water, check video one last time, and then we are gonna get going. Last round starts in 35 seconds. So glad you guys get to see my white tree. I wish you could see the details. It's a small tree, but it's almost my favorite. It's just whimsical, fun, goofy stuff, ice cream sandwiches and kickboxers and rainbow brights and sock monkeys and balloon animals. It's such a fun tree. All right, kettlebell swings. One last time. So we got all those parts and pieces to keep in mind here. We've got the hips driving back, core engaged, especially that lower belly. Hips drive back, push that weight forward with those hips. Neck long, shoulders down. So much happening here. Oh, this one feels like your strongest one now that you understand all the parts and pieces to it. 10 seconds. Woo! All right, squat, the overhead press coming up next. Whew, I'm starting to feel like this fire's real. Oh. All right, set up your squat. So I've got feet a little wider than hips, so whatever feels good for you. Sit back, push it up. Again, make sure you're keeping those shoulders away from the ears. The sides of your arms or your shoulders should not be touching your head or your ears. Make sure you're sitting back in that big deep chair. Knees behind your toes. Whew. All right, sumo bicep curl coming up. Go ahead and get that stance set up nice and wide. Toes at 10 and 2 and kind of test it out. Whew. All right, tuck those elbows in. As we drop, we curl up. Again, working towards getting that tailbone to point down towards the ground. No duck butts, as I say, and when I train people in the pool and in person. We don't want our booty pooching out behind us. Now, if it is because of muscle or how we're built, some of us just have a lot of junk in our trunk, that's one thing, but if it's because we're rolling our tailbone out behind us, that's not a good thing. 10 seconds. That one's down. We've got single leg deadlift with a row. Your variation, whichever one you want to be in today. All right. All right, if you're with me, left leg, a little bit of bend, kickstand on the other side, we sit it back. Good work, guys. Not coaching a bunch now. We know what we're doing. I want you to work. I want to give you the opportunity to coach yourself. What do you remember? Other side. Also experiment with how far you go down. You know, a lot of people think that you have to go all the way down to the ground to feel the exercise. For the most part, you don't need to. In fact, if you go too far, you're kind of removing the muscle from the equation. But you can play with how deep or shallow you need to go. Like the end of that round, I started going just a little bit lower to see how that felt. But some people get the misconception that the point of the exercise is to go as low as possible. And that's not the case. It's where do you go that you feel this whole muscle group kick in. And once you feel that kick in, boom, that's where you stop. Squeeze it back up. All right, guys, last 3. Bring it on down. Whew. We've got 3 exercises left, and we are done, friends. Whew. Let's take a heavy weight. I like to set it on my legs and let my legs kick it back. All right, we've got narrow press, lift, drop it back. I find it so funny, this specific exercise is where she's like, goes into guard mode. Ferocious little 11 pounds of fury. Rue, I'm currently pressing more than you. This is 20 pounds. If you're wondering, yes, her name is Rizzo, who we call her Rue, short for Rue Small, in honor of one of our favorite people, RuPaul. Perfect. All right, we've got our bridge with a skull crusher. Yeah, she turned into Rue Small, and then that really stuck as Rue. Yeah, everybody calls her Rue. Say, I'm Rizzo. After the pink lady, of course. All right, so hold that weight up. We've got our bridge set up, so feet hip width apart, in close to our booty, but comfortable. We lift and we drop. Definitely doesn't help you stay cool to have a puppy laying up against your side while you're trying to work out. So again, we're driving through those feet, squeezing those cheeks. core engaged. Thank you, Rizzo. All right, guys. Last exercise. Hi, sweet girl. You're so helpful. Thank you very much. We've got our plank pull-throughs, guys. Last exercise. So get yourself set up wherever it is that you're going to be working. Plank or modified plank. We bring it up, widen that base just a little bit, pull through. Again, trying to keep your hips flat to the ground. I know not every rep of mine is perfect. We're all a work in progress. So again, so many things working here. Obviously, our shoulders. Whew. Our core, our back, oblique muscles, especially those obliques, pulling across like that. Almost there, guys. We're under 10 seconds. Woo. That is time. We did it, guys. Woo! We did it, Rizzo. That was a major win. So again, we had a lot of things working there. We had the uniqueness of working out with just one weight, doubled by making it combination exercises, but just using one weight. And then we've got the cardio of doing compound exercises and using a heavy weight, and the cardio of moving through a circuit, which is quick work, no breaks, and really long repetitions. Honestly, in 1 minute, you're getting a lot of reps in. So there's a lot happening in what seems like a pretty straightforward workout. So if you are sweating and breathy, and you're in the right place. You met the challenge for sure, so don't feel like something's off if you're really huffing and puffing, because that was an intense one. I think sometimes people write circuit off as easy or only meant for group fitness, but if you do it the right way, whew, ain't nothing easy about it, guys. So I thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed another set in the Sonya Christmas compound here, and we'll show you some more of the next workout. As a reminder, I will not be doing a workout on Tuesday the 15th. That's my birthday, turning the big 4-0. And so I will not be doing class that day. We have some plans for that night. So, but I will be back. I think we have 2 more workouts, like the following Saturday and the following Tuesday before Christmas. So we'll have 2 more workouts to get in before Christmas. If you have anything that you want to see, anything that you want to revisit, something you've heard of that you're interested in, let me know. I will be happy to do that. Or if you have any fun ideas for a workout before Christmas, that would be awesome too. So guys, thanks so much for joining me. Again, I always ask, please share, subscribe, write a review of these workouts for my Facebook page or for YouTube. Any way that you can share, like, support definitely helps us in this journey that we're all on together. And lastly, if you would like to donate any funds for these classes, Venmo @StrongStyleFit is where you will find me. It is greatly appreciated. It is the only support I receive for these classes. So guys, thank you so much. I will see you in a week for our next workout, and I look forward to it very much. Mwah!